All right, joining us now on Amazin but True, not a Mets guest, but a baseball related guest who made some big news on Sunday. Now, as you know, my co-host here, Nelson Figueroa, is the pitching coach for the brand new Staten Island FerryHawks. And one of their pitchers, hitters, outfielders, she does it all, is Kelsie Whitmore, who becomes the first woman to start a game for MLB Partner League. And Kelsie, welcome to the show. Congratulations on your debut Sunday. How you feeling? Was it a whirlwind of emotions on Sunday?
Um, Hi, yeah, thank you for having me. I mean, the yesterday just it felt like another day of baseball, really. I mean, I was excited to be out there and to get the opportunity to compete. And so, I mean, a lot of people were kind of been asking me if I was nervous, but I really just felt like another day of baseball, especially with the the kind of the grind we got going on, games every day at the field every day. So kind of get into the groove of things. But no, it was a great day, and I had a good time.
And of course, the first ball that's put in play is hit right to you. You handle
Right. Yeah.
flawlessly. You handle it flawlessly as you have throughout camp and every day working during batting practice and taking balls off live hitting. You continue to impress, and that's one of the things that we talked about with the coaching staff is that she's ready to play. She's ready to. She knows how to play the game. She's played the game for a long time. I think people have this idea like we just picked a random person out of the blue and no, we're going to let her try and play baseball. Kelsie has done this for a long time, has had a lot of success at many different levels. This is just a very high level, and she handled it beautifully. Her very first time out there competing the whole while, the at bats, putting the ball in play, and even taking one for the team. How's that feeling this morning?
It's you feeling a little more than I did yesterday, but it's not a big deal. It wasn't really it wasn't really anything. So I mean, kind of had a feeling something was coming in on me after that first pitch. Through like I think it was a missed cutter or slider, but yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Well, OBP is up to 333, which isn't too bad. It's better than some of the Mets right now. Now you brush it off, but it is a big deal and it is a big story. Do you feel it like I assume you're getting the texts, you're getting the calls from people. Well, you've been doing it forever now. It obviously was a national story that made the waves. So do you feel that aspect of it? And I imagine you're very proud to be the first woman to do this.
I mean, definitely proud, definitely an honor. But it hasn't really gotten to me where it's kind of feeling overwhelming. I think it could be. I think the biggest thing for me is I visualize a lot of like the goals that I want to accomplish. I visualize myself in like pressured situations or moments like today where or the other day, yesterday, where I was gonna, start in a game like that. I visualized, put myself in those situations, so I felt like I'd been there before, and so I mean, things haven't been too overwhelming, but but the support has been great, and the people that have been there supporting me and everything has been awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It's not only your teammates; it's actually guys on the other team even have come up to you and have come and introduced themselves to you. So that's got to be a really good feeling as well. To feel that there has been more acceptance than originally that they thought there was going to be when we first announced that we had signed a female player. The internet kind of had some backlash, but until you got a chance to see her on the field and see what she's capable of doing, you really have to learn to appreciate that she is able to do this at such a high level and be just like one of the guys out there and we were never worried, even with the bases loaded, the opposite field fly ball to you and you go back to the warning track, handles it, throws it into the cutoff man, which is just textbook. Looked like she's been doing it for 10 years.
You get your first medal, Kelsie, when you were what? Were you 15, 16 years old?
I want to say yeah, I was around that age. Felt like a while ago, but it was in 2015 in or no, 2015 I got my first gold medal in the Pan Ams, and then in 2014 we won silver in Japan. So that's when I was 14 at the time when I made the team.
Wow.
compare those two, because then you might have felt over the world because you're so young, you haven't experienced it. I mean, you're in your Bieber fever stage of your life at that point, and now you're, and listen, I love Bieber too at 31. It's fine. But now you're an adult essentially, so it's two different worlds. Explain the two, and you know how you felt then versus now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was had been my goal growing up, one of my dreams to make the women's national team. Once I found out that there was, I found out a lot later in my baseball career. I mean, I guess around like 12, 13, which is still young, but at the time when you're playing since you're 6, it feels like later on. But found out about it, and I was like, oh, I mean, that's a goal of mine. I want to make that team and definitely be a part of it. So I did everything I could, and tried to get better, trained for it, and fortunately, I made it when I was 14, and that was the youngest age you could at the time. And I still believe it's the same thing now. So I made the team, and my best friend and I, we were both 14, and we both made the team that year. And the 2 days or about a week later, we were going to Japan, and it was like one of the first times we really had traveled out of the country. And then coming back with a medal. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't win gold, but still the experience was amazing. Playing in a different country, the culture is different, especially in Japan. Baseball is huge in Japan, so the culture there and the environment is incredible. And so it's definitely different than here in the States. But I mean, the experience was awesome. Winning gold in Canada, I think that was by far one of my favorite opportunities I had been given, and experiences that I had ever been a part of, just because we were surrounded by other athletes that had been that had previously been in the Olympics, or that were trying to get into the Olympics through the Pan Ams. And so we were in the Olympic Village. They call it the Olympic Village, where all the other athletes of all the different sports are. And it was a really cool experience, taking pictures with them, just seeing how they live day in, day out as Olympic athletes. And it's the same thing as a professional. I feel it's just they're training for something different than a professional, a pro start every day. Like they're training for something every 4 years, so they got to keep their body in shape. But it was a crazy experience. It was really cool. And then winning it on that field was even better, just because it was against one of our rivals, and we were able to get the W. So it was awesome.
Kelsie, talking about experiences, you've experienced your first pro trip, road trip of 12 days. Talk about exactly what that was like for you. Any surprises along the way?
It was definitely a little different than I expected. It's I didn't realize it was after a 6:15, 7 o'clock game, end around 10, maybe 10:30, getting ready, like straight on the bus into the night, getting back at 4, 5 a.m. And then the next day, maybe having practice or an off day or whatever it's going to be. But that was the part I wasn't expecting. I was like, this is not college. This is not college anymore. This is pro ball. So, which I honestly, I kind of love it. In the moment, you're like, man, this is a grind, because you're tired, and you're like, you got to get up the next day and get after it. But then you're like, I love it, because every other guy in there is doing the same thing that you're doing and wants the same thing that you want, and you're all in it together. Like you're getting after it. And so that's what I love about it. And nobody's complaining. We're just there to get after it. And so, yeah, but I think it's definitely been a cool experience so far. I love being a part of it on the road, just to, say that I've been a part of that grind of a pro baseball player, where it's not everything is great all the times. Sometimes it's going to be hard and it's going to be rough, and then other times it's been great. And so, so far it's pretty cool to experience.
Yeah. So Kelsie's been working with me tirelessly, trying to perfect her craft and when it comes to pitching. and that would be the biggest transition for her. She's faced 90-mile-an-hour fastballs before. She's faced a level of competition before, but the level of competition in where we're at in the Atlantic League, it's called a second chance league. So there's a lot of guys who are out of the major leagues, who played in the major leagues, guys who are looking for that second opportunity, who don't want to sign with an organization and just get thrown in to like a AA contract, but rather be a free agent for all the 30 teams and be seen playing against a high level of talent. That's why they're there. So Kelsie's been working in the bullpens and I feel, from the first day that we played catch together, she's now added 2 more pitches to her arsenal. She's able to understand more of how to make the ball move, how to set up hitters maybe a little bit differently because of the level that we're playing at. And she continues to work at getting better and better. And everybody comes to even watch her bullpens. They're like very impressed by the way that she works and how she's able to really command the strike zone. And then she has the thing, this knuckleball split thing that it's a great 2-strike pitch. She hasn't had a chance to do that yet. Your first opportunity as a pro, we brought you in as a pinch runner in the 9th inning, down by 2 runs, and you would have been the tying run. Can you tell everybody what you were thinking while you were on base at the time?
I mean, being an athlete and being competitive. I mean, when I was on the base, I was just thinking, well, one there was like chirping going on. There's for sure chirping going on. So it kind of, if you know me now, like the chirping is not going to really put me down like it did before. It's just going to fire me up. And so, and just use it as fuel, really. So there's chirping going on with the fans, and I was like, all right, like this guy off the bat needs, if he hits his ball behind me as the runner, it's anything to the right side, hopefully in the gap, I'm hauling it. Like I'm hauling it. I'm getting there. Anything on the line, I'm gonna try to score this run right now. And so yeah, no, I was just thinking like I'm gonna go hard. Like I'm going hard anyway, anyhow. If it means I'm going into that catcher, then I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Like, so I was pretty fired up. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but I was ready
so
to
close.
do whatever. Like
It
I
was
was
so
ready
close.
to do whatever.
We had a high chopper that went over the first baseman, and it was kind of going in that trajectory down the line. If the second baseman doesn't get to it, it clears him, and they were playing over in a shift, so it would have been kind of in that right field corner, like she was saying. So she would have had a chance to score. And that was the first thing I had asked her. I go, what were you thinking out there? And the first thing she mentioned was, man, they were talking all game long, but then when I put a helmet on, they really started getting on me. Like, I'm not fast. She's like, oh my God, please put it in the gap so I can try and score. And if I have to truck somebody, I will. And I was like, all right, this is real.
What is some of the chirping? Like, what do people say? What are some of the things that you've heard so far?
I only had a taste of it there in Charleston, small taste of it there. And it was just kind of that, just saying like, oh, she's not good enough. She's not fast enough. Like, just pick her off, like little stuff like that. And the past, I think it was Maryland and North Carolina weren't bad at all. It was really that Charleston game where I heard some chirping. So I mean, it happens. It comes with it. It's they weren't just doing it with me, like they were doing it with some of the guys too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it happens, part of the game.
Is that something that you've kind of overcome over the years? Has it happened before? And do you have a form of like a punching bag that you imagine that fan at home that you let your anger out on? How do you overcome that?
I mean, a couple years ago when I played indie ball, there used to be some like negative comments that be said, especially through social media. Mm-hmm. At the time, I was a fool because I'd read it, I'd look at it, because it's hard to not see what people say about you. So I read it, and it affected me so badly. And I think part of it, I was young, didn't know how to handle it. But now I think there's even more comments than there was before, whether good or bad. I just think there's more now, and I just stay away from the comment section. I don't look at that. The only stuff I look at is, I just tell myself, let's look at good stuff. So I'm only looking at the stuff people send me, people tell me, people who support me. I'm going to read that. I'm going to invest in that. I'm going to put my mind to that, because I only need good energy, and I only want to be surrounded by good energy, good vibes. That's my motto. That's my mindset. I don't need any bad energy around me. So so yeah, that's kind of what I think about. But if there is people that say stuff, I mean, you kind of just have to flush it. You really got to flush it, and that's where you can test your mindset how strong it is or not, and you got to stay true to who you are, know who you are as an athlete, what you've worked for, and just stay surrounding yourself with good people. So that's just kind of my mindset with it.
Yeah, I've got to give the team in Gastonia. They did a tremendous job. You know, she made her debut, historic as it was, and they announced it as she's coming out of the dugout. They had it up on the jumbotron already with a picture of her with her USA jersey on still. But as she's coming out of the dugout, a big, huge round of applause. And the support in Gastonia was really nice to see. It was even before she got to play. You know, there are little girls coming around. There's boys. There's fans of baseball who are realizing, you know, this is something special that's happening, and they're staying to try and get her autograph. And you know, in Charleston, I walked her down the line because she's like, "Do I have to sign autographs?" She was so mad because they were chirping. She was, "Do I have to sign the autographs?" I go, "We're on the road. You don't have to do anything, right?" But as we're walking, they had this like thing they do in minor leagues. They put down hula hoops, and people throw tennis balls to try and get in the hula hoops. And some of these jerks were throwing the tennis balls at us. And they realized how bad that was. They apologized to us in the whole 9 yards. They said we got overzealous, handed out the tennis balls early while you guys were walking off the field. I go, yeah, I get it. You know, it's not a big deal. But like she said, she's prepared herself for all this, and she's going through this, and it's very unique to her. And so it's hard to find anyone for her to talk to on any kind of level when you're doing something that's truly groundbreaking like this. And I'm so excited because now she's gotten her feet wet as a pinch runner. She's gotten her feet wet, you know, as a batter, gotten hit with a pitch. She made a play in the outfield or two. And now the next step is to get her out there on the mound. And that's where I'm most confident in, because all the work that she's put into this, it's gonna be something that's gonna surprise a lot of people.
Are you going to surprise some people, Kelsie? And if you don't, you just blame Figgy, please. Put all the blame on him for being a terrible pitching coach.
I mean, I'm ready to compete. That's all my mindset is since the beginning, is here to compete, get after it, and you know, there's gonna be days it's gonna come with failure, and the best way that I can do if that does happen is we got tomorrow. Come back to tomorrow, get after it, work on it. I can't hold on to things. We don't have time here to do that. So, you know, I'm just ready to compete.
Well, I want to come out and see your pitch. So if you know in advance, Figgy, you know, give me the
What do you
inside
think you
scoop.
get? Yeah, you think you get an inside edge?
You want to
on
be
this?
the John Heyman for us here. Source. She will pitch tonight. All right, I'll hop on the damn ferry and go out to Staten Island, make my way out there. Well, Kelsie Whitmore, we're excited for you, pumped for you. This is a big moment. I imagine, you know, I'll close on this, that you have to have some pride when you have a little girl, a young girl come up to you, and, you know, it makes them believe that they could do what you do. And I have to imagine that's kind of the heartwarming feeling, you know, like a lesson taught in an episode of Full House or something, a nice heartwarming feeling when you do something like that, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I'm I'm really happy that I can be someone that these younger girls could look up to and be able to just be inspired by and motivated by. I never had like a female role model growing up. My dad was really the one that I kind of stood by and looked up to, and so I want to be what I didn't have growing up for these younger girls and these athletes in general. And so yeah, no, it's a great feeling, and I hope I can only just inspire more people.
Kelsie Whitmore, go check her out. San Diego product, one of my favorite new cities now. I can't wait to potentially go back in June. Check her out, Staten Island FerryHawks. They open their season Tuesday at home. You could see Figgy in the dugout. Maybe he'll pitch at one point, and I'll be out there taking BP at some point. Maybe Kelsie will strike me out a few times.
That's easy.
And I'll be fine with that. Kelsie, appreciate you coming on Amazing But True, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Thank you, appreciate it.